All right, let's see how this is doing. Are we up and running? I think we should be clicking over to being live here in a moment. So let's see how that's coming along here. I don't see myself being live yet, but I get this weird feeling that we're being recorded and that it's going to happen after the fact. But there we go. I think we're clicking in. Yeah, buddy? You doing this? It says I'm live, but I'm not live. There we go. All right. Hey, so we are in effect, and Yep, cool volumes there. Kind of in some wonky setting up going on here, and hold on. All right. Gotta get my scruff on. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And we've been focusing our attention on 5th edition Spelljammer, Adventures in Space. We created a document here called Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. It's published now on DMsGuild. It went up last month. And thanks a lot to everyone that's been interested in the project and the outpouring of support. It's been awesome. So if you're interested in seeing more of my stuff in the future, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications of when we are going to be live. You can see the entire production of that book and other products that we're making for Spelljammer here in the full playlist stream that we have here. And here's a slew of other books that I have. Everything I have is a ton of free preview to it. So you can easily get the gist of what's going on here and decide if it's right for you. If you want to consider picking up some new stuff for Spelljammer. So, what do we got going on? We're going to be developing Warforged and Spelljammer Warforged and Machines. We're going to be continuing to develop Vocath's massive Mecha Crab. We're trying to make everything work together. I get the feeling that... let's step into a York Peppermint Patty here. Asteroids. We've been making asteroids to put in the art asset bundle to help drop costs on everything, start giving people discounts and stuff. Let's see. Let's back out to Spelljammer and then production, mega ships. Let's go here for now. Spirit Warriors was the first take on this. So I can't reasonably have an infinite scaling, even though this is smooth. And we were talking about last week how every time you increase a size in 5e, you add a die, whatever type of weapon you're using. Like, let's say you're using a longsword. And if it's a gargantuan longsword built for a 20-foot critter, it's going to do 5d8 damage, and otherwise operates pretty much like a normal swordward. But we need to... the curve that we have for ships, and you'll see that with Vocath as well. Here, let me step this out of the way here. So Vocath's crab, we've been working on this, and we know that the damage that we have for massive size craft, we have 50 foot to 100 foot ships do 1d4 times 10 damage with melee weapon attacks, and they don't have any reload scores involved. Up to 200 feet is a 1d6 times 10. This is corresponding with siege weapons that do have, 300 foot equals 1d8 times 10. 400 foot equals 1d10 times 10, and then 500 feet, the maximum size you can have with a single spelljamming helm, is 1d12 times 10. And those work pretty well with the mechanics that we have in Spelljammer as it is right now. And the interesting interesting thing about it is that if you have a normal ship, like a fighter craft, its melee weapons up to 10 feet would equal 48, 58, 48. Yeah, it would be just a single die of damage. And then 20 feet equals, and it's standardized as D8s. This is just the damage that ships do. Up to 30 feet, it becomes 3d8s. 40 feet becomes 4d8. And then 50 feet, it becomes 5d8. 5d8 is equal to 1d4 times 10. And at the 50 to 100 foot scale, again, it's 50 to 100 feet is 1d4, so 50 foot, it just kind of curves into and scales up without taking the normal scaling extra damage die per size rule that we generally find monsters follow in the monster manual. Just the problem is that it scales up too fast. So for the like you're dealing with these massive sized creatures when your characters are in third and fourth tier, you can afford, you need to be doing this extra damage, and it's intuitive to add that extra die to the size categories because it caps at gargantuan at basically 20 feet. The Tarrasque does 5d12 plus damage, so it's still basically using the same mechanics, even though it's a 70-foot long creature. So we're breaking that curve, and I'm in the process of attempting to square that circle, basically, to be able to keep this curve, but to be a little bit more flexible with it. So what I want to do is be able to retain variable dies depending on what sort of weapon your war golem is going to be wielding, whether it's a punch dagger, or which would be D4s, or like a two-handed sword, or a glaive with reach could realistically be doing a D12. That way we can curve from 2d12 for size large all the way up to d12 times 10. But this is a lot of space to cover with not a lot of dice. So I'm trying to think of a sensible way for us to be able to curve that. So I'm going to be working my way down, and I don't know if this is perfect yet. We're going to probably have to end up testing stuff. So it's going to be 10dx is basically what's going to end up at, and then 400 feet we could go 90x. So that could be a d12 or a d10 or whatever. 300 foot equals 8dx. 200 foot equals 7dx. 100 foot equals 60x. We were already looking at 50 feet being 5. So maybe it's a big jump from 50 to 100. 5dx, and then 40, and then 30, 20, 10. That would still only be 1dx. Equals 2dx. I don't know if I like this or not. 3dx equals 4dx. It's reasonable to not assume just a smooth curve into infinity. Now that I have the basic scaffold here, we can just start fucking around a little bit. Let's just fuck around a little bit. 2dx. And I want to get to 10dx. Eight, 7, 6. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. There's that there. Oh, there is that point that 15 feet. Two, 4. Five. I don't hate this. Well, the problem is that we're dealing with mecha, and mecha could potentially have. We're potentially looking at. Oh, okay, so. Okay, so we know that these are the. We could potentially see a Warforged docent plugged into a large size machine. But large size is not such a big jump. You should get an extra die. That'd be 10, 15, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't hate this. Two, 3. And this is all assuming there's no reload score. So you can make as many attacks as you need to with your melee weapon. It's when you're starting to use ranged weapons that eats up more action economy. But that keeps melee combat very, very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is how we want to do that. 15 feet to 30 feet. I don't hate it. In gargantuan creatures, I mean, whatever. I think we could probably go with that for now. I don't hate it. It just doesn't. It's just without knowing the chart, there's no way for you to really like intuitively know how that go. Let's start this anew. That's kind of where this is at right now. X. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking about it. This is real. This is pretty intuitive. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not the best. I mean, I could just start doubling down here, right? I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't do that. Because it's got that weird gap in here, where 30, 40, 50. That's kind of the beginning of the doublings, though, isn't it? We could have 5 here. Mine is kind of intuitive. I mean, you could just use the default. I mean, there is the default. Screw you, Oofus. I don't know what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm futzing around because I'm thinking this trash through. All right, I think yeah, that's basically the two comparisons that we have here and here. Oh wait, that is off. Same difference. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be okay. It's a little clumsy, but it's okay. It'll do. It'll do. All right, so that's where we're going to sit with that for now. Vocath, a 500-foot crab. These claws and these stabby legs. We already know that they deal D12 times 10 damage. So we are in the process of building out the back end of this. We've got a rough idea for, let's see, I want to servant deck and the arena frame are basically the same thing. So there we go. Yeah, so I want to grab this and duplicate. Cool, we're into it. So building Vocath's crab. Here we go. Okay, we can get rid of that. feel like we need that anymore. That seems pretty useful. So let's keep that for now. How's this arena framework? Actually, let's extract this from the servant deck for now. Let's see how this thing parses together. Okay. Sure enough. This is a duplicate layer, so we're going to duplicate that. So we can scoot that up. Pass reception to, let's see, luxury suite. It doesn't really offer a place for anyone to sleep here. I guess if you show up here, you're going to sleep on your ship. It stays like that. Grab this. We can duplicate this layer. Fold this one up. Pull that up to there. Servant deck. Well, that's kind of a pain in the ass. Let's duplicate that. Reviewing. Yeah, this is relevant. Okay, oh, that's right. That's what we needed to do. What we need to do is start filling this in. So if I build this correctly, let's erase that. Well, that's right. There's supposed to be a dock that goes out here. That's on the next layer up. Cargo layer. Why is my brain hurting again? This is the center point. It's the plate on which the arena sits. Servant deck. This is the floor of the arena. This is the floor of the arena. And that means, yeah, there's the luxury suite at the top. And then below that is the reception deck. That has the private booth that is elevated above the next floor. And the stairway leads up from the servant deck. So this is supposed to be parallel to the arena. And I apparently botched that up. Which means this interior space exists and it needs to be walked upon. .15 feet. Right, so that means that this layer really is the floor of the arena. So I need to build out this floor a little bit better than it is. Okay, we can do that. So let's do that. Nice. Here, let's do that. And then What's going on here? Oh, well, that explains it. Okay, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Everything's fine. All right, for us to have a full project, it's like to make the Spelljammer Warforged machine stand on its own as like, say, a $4 document. A $5 document is going to have to. Hold on, real quick. Let me find where the line on this is at. There's a line going on here. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, I need that. Why is that not working? Why isn't that working? I've got holes. Crumble, tumble. Oh, that's interesting. I get it now. Yeah. It is there. I just didn't recognize what layer it's on. Super duper, Dad. Very good. All right. this down. This requires thinking, and that's something that I don't like to do. Let's go with select, modify, contract. That's decent. Where the hell's that coming from? Right there, of course. Bump, 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 there. Perfect. Oh my god, that's rugged. That's looking real rough and unready. There we go. Now we're starting to suss this thing out. Really get to push my drafting skills hard with this. That is a joy. I don't hit it. I mean, it pretty much lines up, so I mean, I really can't complain. That all sits pretty nicely. So I think I can make that happen. Bond that together like that. There we go. That's our arena floor space. Might be a little off in perspective there. Yeah, it looks like it's off. All right, let's see what we can do. So drop this down. This is a work in progress, but I mean, okay, that's the size of the arena, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. Now that logic's involved, fuck off. Yeah, this will work. It's a little messy, but it'll get there. All right, so we want to take this and make sure it's done. Try that again. Cool. I'm going to expand that, maybe 25 pixels. Select, modify, expand. Too much. Select, modify, expand, maybe 15 and ooh, that lined up pretty nicely. Yeah, that lined up very nicely. This is the one. Okay, there's weirdness happening here, but I think I'm okay with it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Too aggressive there, Kearney. Good. Arena. Cool. Let's make sure we get this right. Vocath's escape. Tier space is okay for the arena. Walls are good. They line up with the joints and the crab, so that's good. I should just curve this out to just be a solid geometric shape without being all weird at some point anywhere. Like this could be like this. Up a bit. You don't need any of that. Hey man, how you doing? So far so good, man. I had a great time on Saturday. I thought that was a really fucking great game. I am looking forward to the next one. I am building the arena. We're getting there. The front end of this episode, I was basically wrestling with damage scaling for the mecha project. So play with that a little bit, and then once we got up to 500 feet with melee weapons doing d12 times 10 damage, switched gears, and I started building the crab some more. So, but yeah, this is the arena level. I don't have coloration quite figured out yet. Right now I think I'm just kind of like parsing things into their own little blocks. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. I've got some time coming up in May that I'm going to be on vacation. I take a week off every year in May. This week is going to be May 20th through 25th. Oops. I'm going to take out of my day job. It's going to open up some time in the evening. Well, I'll be able to do a lot of stuff all throughout the day, so I can free up my evenings to the playtest stuff instead of the normal stream that I do. And I think I want to do both Vocath Crab Battle with the fleet, and I think I want to take I think I want to start tests. I think I want to take some mecha combat out for testing. I'm kind of thinking about looking at the Big B's, what is it? Might of the Giants. Is that the name of the book? I'm thinking about taking that level 15 Fire Giant adventure. Little like it has a Fire Giant fortress that the team is supposed to invade, and I'm thinking a fun playtest would be to put the characters in 20-foot mecha and have them storm the place at the same size as the Fire Giants are, so that we can fuck around with just like Gundam, like 20-foot warframes, deck out the weapons and stuff, and just build a kill team to go in there and fight giants. I think that might be fun. I might do that on a Monday or Thursday. I don't know exactly. yeah. And I think it has 20-foot scale squares on that map. So if we use 20-foot, 15-foot, or 20-foot frames, then we can just have everything move around in a 20-foot space. They don't have giants moving at greater scale the way that I think they should. So that's a problem with D&D mechanics, is that they don't increase the size of the amount of movement that giant-sized creatures can take as they scale up in size. They still have really, really slow movement, even though they're taking 1 step, 2 steps per round, as opposed to a person that can take 12 steps per round. So there's a disparage there that I don't like. So it makes me think I need to recalibrate just how much movement people can get in general. But I don't have to worry about that today. It's just stuff that I'm thinking about. So, but yeah, so no, we're here, and then right, because this is the cargo deck, so this is like that. That's right. The floor of the arena is This is open space for like 30 feet. And this is a 15-foot wall in the arena. That's right. And then we drop the servant deck on top of it. And this is where the actual scaffold, like this is the standing room area on the balcony above the arena. So this would be 15 feet up with like a 4-foot railing. So that's where this would be at, and where all the creatures are around. And then you go out this door here, and there's a walkway here, and then there's a ramp that goes up. And here are the doors that lead. There you go, on the actual reception deck. So here's a servant deck, and then because this is the servant quarters here, and they have stairways that go up to the reception, the throne room, the reception hall, the private booth, secret escape hatch. Yeah, that's panning out. So servant quarter, great. Yeah. Okay, so all I really need to do is get this all squared away. Where is this at, I wonder? Here we go. Don't need that, thanks. Do not currently need that. I need to clean this up. I feel like this is really ugly and clumsy, so I'm trying to sort out how shit's supposed to sit. Shit. Free transform. Flip vertical. Cool. Let that sit. That fits pretty good. Then we can merge these ugly things all together. Right, stairs. Back bit. Bit. Get there, something like that. If we transform, flip horizontal. there-ish. So that is our balcony layer there. Then we want to have another layer like this. Yeah. Too thick. Yeah, like that. We're just going to easy mode this one. Free transform. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Free transform. Boom, 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 like that. Easy mode. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much perfect. Duplicate this again. Free transform. Flip horizontal. Melee meaning like a spirit war. Yeah. Sorry, not paying attention to you. Yeah, exactly. The yeah, mecha. You know, like all the melee ships have, or all the spelljamming ships naturally have melee weapons. So now it's just a matter of getting damage to sync up for medium, large, huge, gargantuan, 50-foot, 100-foot, blah blah blah, up to 500-foot ships. And I have. It's a clumsy. It's not a smooth natural curve from 5 feet to 500 feet. That'd be like 100 dice in scale one over the other if I just literally ran it like the monster manual proposes, or of adding like 1 die per size, because the cap's at gargantuan at 4, so it'd only be 40x. But we have scaling that goes up to 500 feet, and damage continues scaling up at 500 feet as it proceeds. So it's not the same. Is this accurate? Base reference, thumbnail. Pretty sure I have a map of this thing someplace. Close. Really close. That's good. That is good. Okay, cool. Close enough anyway. So let's take our cue. Take this to here. Let's take this and this. Put them, there we go. Now they're snug. Now they snug. Now we can take this layer here, duplicate, free transform. Because the way that ships work is you don't have to make command checks to reload. That's for ranged weapons, because siege range weapons have a crew of people. And if they don't have a crew of people, that means they're an Eldritch Cannon. And if it's an Eldritch Cannon, the die damage that it does depends on your effective level, like your casting level or whatever. So let's grab these. And then if we transform, vertical. There we go. Oh, yeah. It's all working out. It is all working out. I'm pleased. So I have to keep the same ship mechanics for the ships that are in the book as the mecha book, because the mecha book is just basically taking the normal ship mechanics and just making them human shaped. That's all it really is. But that's incredible. That's not a very robust document. You know, it's like I could have taken like an extra 4 pages or something and actually put that inside the actual combat and exploration book. So what sort of I need some scope sprawl, right? I need to have the mecha themselves, but the mecha themselves are incredibly simple. So there's nothing that really differentiates a crab from a cheetah from a golem, other than like what shape it is and maybe what weapons it has available to it. But it's all kind of scaling the same. It's got a massive same problem. So that needs to be resolved. Because it's a pretty simple document. It's raining. It's just started raining. It's wonderful. Work. But yeah, there needs to be more on the bone than just humanoid shaped ships. Like it's too cool a subject to have such a trite response, to have such a trite explanation. It makes me feel kind of guilty about oversimplifying it. I could build these things in to have a mana battery and then have a selection of martial powers be a list of options that you can have geared into your ship. That's not a bad idea. And so instead of a spellcaster using their own supply, it would have just a mana battery, and you have X amount of powers that are loaded into it, and it would cost X points to trigger an ability, and whatever that ability is would be scaled appropriately for the type of craft or the type of mecha that you're in, the size of it, whatever. It's not a bad idea. We already have all the tech. We could do like sustained effects, and then the battery would just automatically lock it. So it's like you have, there'd be an issue of scaling, like because all this stuff is kind of based off of the pilot. So I guess it would be the rank of the pilot. That feels so wrong. Like the rank of the pilot determines how much battery the ship has. And then it's like, well, if it's dependent on the pilot, why don't you use their mana pool? Now there's a huge disparage between full casting pilots and half or martial casting pilots not having the same amount of battery as a wizard does, even though the fighter would be better equipped to fight in a giant golem than a wizard would be, So I'm fine with having an amplifier built into mecha for full casters to do full casting stuff. But I also want to have something available for the martial characters without having to just publish martial powers in this book. Although this will help make martial powers much easier to grok once it publishes. Like, hey, go check out the Spelljammer, Warforged, and Machines, and you'll see how this shit works. And they're like, oh, I get it. That's awesome. Blah. There you go, Willow, you're heroes. And they'll give us medals. I'm not going to give you any fucking medals, you pack. A peck here, and he's pointing an acorn at me. He took our black root. Watched Willow over the weekend. Now it's fresh in my mind. Such a fun story. That's a great movie. That's just Lucas Prime right there. That's top-notch George Lucas shit going on right there. I think it was a Spielberg movie. Those two, they have fun. If I did figure out a way to build martial powers into the mecha, then I could call it power armor. Warforged and power armor. Warforged and empowered armor. Working on it. Cool. Okay. This is working out. Legit working out. Nerf. Uh-oh. Oh no, yeah. Okay. Whew. This is all good. This is as it should be. Thinking. Give me a minute. Yeah, that's appropriate. Okay, so we can do this. We can duplicate this and then do this. Yeah, like that. Oh my god, we're actually getting this thing done. God damn. This thing's actually working, man. It is actually panning out. I never believe it until I see it. It's always like I'm hopeful, but no, this one is this one's totally resolving. That's exciting. Where are we at? It's 9:35. Okay, I've got 15 minutes left, so our next alarm is the end for the day. Oh, this is working out great. Thinking things through. Contemplating my next move. I'm slightly frustrated and sad that this is off center. But I legitimately don't want to fix it. I also need to oh, that's a nice one. Cool. Okay, so what we want to do is extract this from the servant deck. Drop this down and go opacity. Merge that down. Duplicate. Merge that down. Duplicate. Duplicate. Oh God, that lines up pretty damn nicely. Merge down, duplicate. Something like that. Dash lines indicates edges. Duplicate. There we go. Merge that down. Duplicate. Freeze transform. Thump, 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 thump. Perfect. Bring that down to the corner. Duplicate. Free transform. Dun, dun, dun. Like that. Transform. Flip vertical. Not bad. Perfect. Merge down. Don't need that anymore. Take this back down into the 7 stack. There. Now. Why are you a thing? That's why. Perfect. Perfect. Almost perfect. An artificer class seems subclass would make a lot of sense as just like, you know, a Warforged pilot. I don't have one yet, so this would be a good opportunity to introduce one. So, frames, powers, artificer, like artificer subclass, maybe a couple different subclasses. And then equipment. That's a decent core. Most of the heavy lifting is being done by the full supplement that this would be an expansion of. So I don't have to worry about that as much. Yeah, no, not so much. Alright, I guess we gotta clean this up next. It's not 100% crystal clear for me yet. I'm still seeing it being, it's still being dreamed into existence is what I should say. Let's get Vocath done first, and then we can dedicate our Mondays and Thursday nights to building out the mecha book. It was a little, let's say I was jumping the gun per se. It was a little early to put out the first video for it, but I like where it's going. A lot. Harley. I hear you, baby. All right. We have hit time for today. Trapped inside a process. I'll break free in a moment. That's what the alarm is supposed to do. Help break me out of process, but this is final process. There we go. Okay, I'm good with that. So when we come back next week, we'll finish the ramps, this internal servant space, the stairway leading up, and then we'll be able to probably successfully build the reception deck and probably sketch out the last parts of the royal of the luxury suites and the top and the roof of the arena. We're getting close. We're getting really close. It's still a little loose, but the structure of the thing is. I'll probably go over the whole thing again. Just since we'll have everything built out properly and lined up, we'll be able to go in and really just build out specific. These landing these landing docks will fold up when the station is in combat. That covers these arena doors. It just like clump, it clips shut. Getting there. Yeah, we're gonna stop here for now. And this is great. I'm really happy with this. This is turning out exactly the way that I had hoped it would. So, so far so good. So what, you know? Yeah, I'm good with this. All right, that's it for now, guys. I'm going to be back in the morning. We'll continue working on Eberron art. There you go. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot for being here.